So in order to make this stuff work online, we completely rebuilt everything that we're doing in the CSM and the CSPO classes. We're still using Scrum to work through the material. We're still using the Scrum Alliance learning objectives in class to QA the material and make sure that the students know that when they leave the class, we've covered everything they were supposed to know. But we did find that what we do in an in-person class can be a little more free-form than it can be online. We need a little more structure there. So we made some changes there as well. And we've tried to find a way to explain the journey that a student's going to go through during the course of, the CSM class or the CSPO class. So they have some kind of situational awareness. In a physical class, we've got the task board up on the wall with all the topics, and everybody can constantly be referring to that. And we could say, well, we've got it online, they can look at it, but in reality, if it's not constantly being shown to you, it's hard to get a sense of, where things are. So we now have a journey map that explains this stuff. We explain it to the students all throughout the class, like here's where we are, here's what we're going to do next, here's when we're going to get to cover all the other topics you've brought into the class that are not part of what we had planned. So that structure has given us a little more freedom and allowed us to dig deeper on some stuff. In the beginning of class, we'd go over expectations for the class. What are we talking about? What are we not talking about? We talk about, what we want to, what kind of environment we want to create and what we encourage people to do. But we would never take a step of trying to force people to engage in a way they didn't want to. It's really important that they be able to participate in whatever way they can. We've also adjusted the way we're covering the material and that we've recentered it around the specific job that we're focusing on in each class. So that is our primary area of concern. For us to be able to hit the ground running and really dig into the job of the Scrum Master or the PO, we are asking the students to do some pre-work before class starts. We ask them to do that in real life too, but we're a little more strict about it with the online class. We've actually got a little test that we ask the students to take in class just to make sure that those foundational concepts are kind of sorted before we dig into stuff. What that allows for in the class is we can spend more time going deeper on the tactical stuff. We want to make sure that everybody who leaves, the CSM or the CSPO class leaves with an armful of new tools and skills and practices they can put into play right away when they get back to work. So it's more than just a certification. We want to make sure that people have stuff they can actually use to be able to get better at doing this job. Another change that we made in the way that we're doing things since we switched over to online has to do with sustainable pace. So being online all day long is really, really hard. Especially if you're working from home, you've got pets or kids or other human beings you live with or are quarantining with that are all calling for attention. And plus just sitting still all day long is not so great anyway. So what we're doing is for every hour we spend in class, we take a 10-minute break. So at the last 10 minutes of every hour we stop, people have time to get up and move around, get a snack, talk to whoever they're living with. I usually play with my cat, whatever you got to do to get yourself refreshed. And what we found is that this is one of the very positive things about moving to an online format for the class. People are able to hold their attention and stay focused for a longer period of time during the day, doing it this way online than I've seen them be able to do in a classroom. So that's a really great thing too. You still have time to keep up with work and all the other things that are going on. So we found that is a really important part of following, everything we're trying to do with Agile is sticking with the principles behind it, and sustainable pace is a big part of that. One of the things that we've decided to do since we switched online is we're adding at least 2 times a month, we're doing them right now, lean coffees for our students. So you take the class, maybe there's something you didn't quite get to really understand, maybe there's another follow-up question you have. We're scheduling lean coffees specifically just for folks that have taken our CSM and CSPO classes. So they can come back and engage with us 2 different times a month. We're going to spend a whole hour doing it. And it's a way of trying to maintain that connection, because I really feel like it's so much in such a short period of time that we're trying to get into people's heads. I always encourage people to reach out to us afterwards. And I usually spend a couple hours a week on the phone with students. And I think that's an important part of building this relationship. It's not just like take the class, go do your own thing, but you're going to have more questions and we're here for you.